From Montauk to Massapequa, Bayside to Bay Ridge, and all points in between. This is For Your Island, a show about the people and places of Long Island. Welcome to another edition of For Your Island. I'm Melissa Rothschild.
And I'm Kristen McNally. Thanks for joining us. On today's FYI, we invite you to come in from the cold, pull up a seat, and warm your hearts with stories ranging from one man's vision of the perfect home to a husband and wife team who have dedicated their lives to the entertainment of children.
We begin today with a humbling story. The ability to read and write is often taken for granted, but without literacy, even the simplest tasks can prove incredibly difficult. From writing a shopping list to reading your child a bedtime story, one volunteer organization on Long Island has focused their efforts to help functioning illiterate adults learn to read. FYI read up on Project Literacy.
Living in a world today without being able to read is definitely a detriment.
The estimated percentage of people who can't read, spell, or write, according to the National Institutes of Health, is 20%. That's 1 out of 5. Project Literacy is a program designed to recruit, train, and give support to volunteer tutors. And we try to do 4 workshops every year, which gives us 100 volunteers every year, and that's our goal, to maintain 100 volunteers who will be working with an equal number of students.
But Lucille, when she says she's going to do something, she does it. And somewhere down the line called me and asked me if I would be a trainer. I told her yes, and I put together a program, and for about 10 years now I've been teaching that program. Since then, a lot of people are learning how to teach people how to read. The particular method used in the Project Literacy program is based on the Orton-Gillingham method, and that is a multisensory, structured, sequential program for teaching someone how to read. The teachers themselves have to first learn an understanding of the language themselves.
I really like being involved with the student on a one-to-one basis, and I really like giving them something that can really help them on a broader base. So reading, teaching them how to read and read well and quickly will give them an opportunity to higher levels of education.
How I became a successful businessman without being able to read or write was the fact that I grew up in the pet business. I knew how to help somebody with a puppy, and I knew how to count out the money. I made a decision to get help when the most embarrassing thing happened to me of my entire life. I was at my daughter's bat mitzvah. The rabbi pointed to the Haftorah, and I said to him, I don't read Hebrew. And he said to me, don't worry, just follow here, it's in English. And I whispered to him, I can't read that in English. And I followed along as he said it, and it was so embarrassing and so humbling that I wanted to cry.
The hardest part of this is actually owning up to being this way. I finally decided to get help when I discovered my son was dyslexic, as I was. I wanted my son to know how to read, how to write, how to spell, to have a life. Not to feel angry or guilty or ashamed of who he was or what he was going to be, or what could he be, like I was. I think the greatest effect that it's had in my life is that I'm able to help my children.
My advice to people who have a problem reading and writing is take the opportunity. The opportunity is free.
Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try one more time.
What helps you the most is that you get over your guilt and your anger and your shame.
To be brave, call me up, and we'll get some help for you.
What an inspirational story. It takes a lot of courage to get help, and it takes extraordinary people to provide that kind of support.
And from extraordinary people, we take you to an extraordinary place. Located in East Hampton, the Home Sweet Home Museum is a model of a perfect American home. Museum curator Hugh King takes visitors along on a tour of the building, which dates back in time to the 17th century. It is also the former home of author, poet, and actor John Howard Payne. Click your heels 3 times as FYI takes you home sweet home.
Home Sweet Home is a monumental reminder of mid-18th century America. Nestled in historic East Hampton, this home is where the heart is.
Mid pleasures and palaces though we may roam, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. Through the years, this house has been called Home Sweet Home because it was the inspiration for the song, Home Sweet Home. John Howard Payne was a playwright. He was born in 1791, he died in 1852. He was the first American-born actor, we think, to play Hamlet. He was like a teenage acting star, the first one we had. We do know that this house was built about the middle of the 18th century. The house was bought by the church next door, St. Luke's Episcopal Church. They held the place for about 7 years, and they wanted to build a big church, that big stone church. They owned this property, they were probably going to tear it down. And then luckily for us, this house was saved by 2 people, Gustav and Hannah Bauk. Almost all the artifacts that you see in here, the chinaware, the furniture, the mementos about John Howard Payne, was put in here by Mr. and Mrs. Bauk. They used to go to Europe every other year. So they came back with many, many wonderful pieces, especially of something called lusterware. There's one of the more important lusterware collections in the whole country in this house. We have pewter, a wonderful collection of pewter, and then we have memorabilia having to do with John Howard Payne. Okay, we have a wonderful portrait of him. We have a sword that was given to him by Samuel Colt. We have some copies of the operetta Home Sweet Home. The thing about this house that I like the most is that I have all 4 clocks in the house working, and then the clocks start making their sound. And each clock is a different kind of a clock. There's a Simon Willard style banjo clock. There's a shelf clock. There's a clock that not only tells the time, it tells the day and the seconds. And then there's a wonderful old Dutch clock that you have to pull the chains. It's on chains, and you pull the weight up in order to wind it. Another historic site that can be found on the grounds of a Home Sweet Home Museum, besides the historic gardens and the house itself, is the 1804 Panago Mill, a grist mill used to grind grain. Windmills were very, very important years ago. They're the last of the wooden age.
John Howard Payne wrote this famous song, "There's no place like home, home sweet home." And that fits very beautifully with where I work, and which makes working here a great joy. So come and see us. We'd love to have you see our little place.
I have to agree with Hugh King about those clocks. It's amazing they can still keep such perfect time.
Yeah, Kristen, hopefully he didn't forget to set them back for daylight savings. And that extra hour will give him and you plenty of time to head over to the Baby Grand Piano Club and catch master pianist Brian Scott Finkelstein in action. FYI took note of this piano man and his Baby Grand.
Rolling, we're going. Woo! Whoa!
Brian Scott Finkelstein. I am an aspiring musician, lounge lizard, piano boy, and whatever piano man for hire.
Perhaps we don't fulfill each other's fantasies, and we stand upon the ledges of our lives.
I was about 4 or 5 years old when I began playing the piano. My grandmother played the piano for her whole life, up until the day she died. My father played the piano. And I just got into it. My grandmother played by ear. I picked up my ear from her, and I always saw my father playing, and it was just something I really wanted to do, but had I guess, natural ability to do it, and I picked it up and I started playing. But playing professionally, I really got into it about a year ago. Just wanted to get into it, and I came to Baby Grand in Rockville Center and got the owner and played for him, and that was the beginning of it.
Brian actually came in one day, college kid. He's like, you know, I play the piano. I'm very, very animated, very into it. I'm like, okay, well, let's hear what you got. Most of our piano players are from 30 to 60. So when you see a kid coming off the street, it's like, okay, we'll humor him. We'll let him play, but this isn't a kid that's gonna like wind up working at the Baby Grand. And he sat down, played for about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Me, 2 of the waitresses, 2 bartenders, and one of the managers were leaning at the bar listening to him saying, that's pretty good.
There's been a lot of people that have asked requests that I'm unable to fulfill just because it's not my generation of the music that they want to hear. Sometimes I'll know it, sometimes I don't. But as far as just being there for the 3 hours that I'm there every night, it's wonderful. You know, I want to play music. I want to do it. I want to be the aspiring musician and try to make it. You know, whatever that means, making it. But I definitely want to play music for a while. But you know, I want a lot more. I don't want to spend 10 years of my life trying to become a rock star or trying to become a hugely successful musician. You know, I got into this business playing bars, clubs, private parties, weddings. I understand that you know, the aspect of the evening, of the party, is there has to be, you know, there's lots of things that make the evening what it is, and the entertainment is a big part of it. I want people to walk away from hearing me saying that they had a wonderful evening.
Wow, what a talent. Did you see how fast he moves his hands?
Well, Melissa, if you think those hands were fast, you should see how Eliza and Roman Valdez of the Long Island Puppet Theater have used theirs. For years, this couple has been entertaining children with their handcrafted puppets and fueling their imaginations with enchanting stories. FYI pulled some strings and got a behind-the-scenes look.
What we do at the Long Island Puppet Theater is have a lot of fun. We want the children to have imagination, fantasy.
Puppetry is very animated. Puppets can do what people can't do. Puppet can say anything they want and move in a different way, but they'll still convey the message. And puppets are universal. I mean, puppets are the beginning of theater. We started with $100 and a dream.
We went to see a puppet show in Paris, and when I saw all the little babies, you know, going into the puppet theater, I said, oh, what a cute thing.
And he just asked me, he said, would you like to create the Long Island Puppet Theater? And I said, yes. We started looking for a place. Then when we found this place here, he said, this is it.
That was giving me the oomph to build the puppet theater in Long Island. And we built it. And here it is.
Okay, Bunny Blue, bring in the ingredients. Bring in the ingredients. Sugar. It's so sweet. Flour.
We put fairy tales, classical fairy tales, and we also put in variety shows. Mr. Valdez created a variety show called the Musical Extravaganza, which lasted for 4 years.
It was not just to show puppets. I mean, it's more to show what is up there in the world. Because all these puppets in every window, they belong to one person from around the world.
When we created the puppet theater, we thought that we would be doing it for children, and actually grandparents even enjoy it. They would say, I think we're having more fun than the children are. So it's actually reaching ages 1 through 99. Children as young as 4 years old will go up to Mr. Valdez and shake his head, great show, and they love it. That's the best thing, you know, you can have. You can't buy that with money.
Here, sometimes the puppets go here and they go there, and just people laugh. You know, you don't take it that seriously, and it's more fun.
Behind there, you hear the voices of the children responding or interacting, and that feels like such a high.
Children, do you know where I can get one egg?
future, I see it as on a tiny scale with Radio City Music Hall, where you would take your children to see the Nutcracker, or you would take your children to see Cinderella, and it would be just festive. Everybody would get dressed up, not in sneakers, not in jeans, but dressing up the children and say, okay, we're going to take you to see a puppet show, and they will have a great fun.
Oh, here I am. Oh, there you are. Oh, thank you everyone for being such a great audience. Do come back real soon and see you. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Hey, that looks really fun. I know it's supposed to be for children, but I think I'd enjoy it.
Well, after the show, you can do just that. But for now, we're not done just yet. After the break, we'll take a closer look at one of Long Island's newest attractions and go pumpkin picking on a cool autumn day, all when FYI returns.
Did you know when the Long Island Railroad was built in 1832, its original purpose was to create a connection between New York and Boston? When this plan fell through, the railroad, in order to survive, was forced to focus its efforts to serving the local Long Islanders. Ever since then, the Long Island Railroad has expanded its services and has become a popular form of transportation for all the island.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Ow! Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Fire. Sort of gorgeous force is what you decide. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Yeah.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Fire.
Keeping my car regularly tuned helps reduce air pollution. And it also saves me money on gas and repairs. But it's not just about saving money. It's about what you do with it.
You're whacked, sir. Environmental defense. Get Green. Go to getgreen.com.
Is your kid trying to tell you something? He could have a problem learning. Don't wait. The sooner you get help, the better the chance your kid has.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
Welcome back. You know, Melissa, even though the air is getting a bit chilly, there are still ways to enjoy the outdoors.
That's right, Kristen, and I've got just the place to go. At Schmidt Farm, families can pick pumpkins by day and be spooked out of their gourds by night. FYI went down on the farm.
Schmidt Farm has a lot of components to it. In the springtime, we do bedding plants, flowers you plant around your house. That's in the spring. And then summer rolls around, and we do lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, eggplant. We do all the vegetables. And then for the finale, we do pumpkins, corn maze, haunted house. Kind of like we base it around like the Halloween, October. Our big thing is pumpkins. It's one of the big things on Long Island that people love to do during the Halloween time.
We were going to just go to the supermarket and pick up a pumpkin, but we figured this was more fun to get out and just see, do all the fall crafts and events and stuff like that, and just pick our own.
We came to pick pumpkins because Halloween's coming up. We're going to carve it and make like a scary face out of it.
We wanted to go pumpkin picking so that we could get some pumpkins for Halloween and decorate on Halloween.
When the weather's nice and sunny out, the atmosphere is great, everybody's happy, families all around, the kids are happy playing. And, it's a great time of the year.
I like picking out the pumpkins I like and then like going on the hay rides and going through the mazes and stuff.
We do our corn maze, and what we do is we give each person that goes in the maze a map. And the map's there's 4 parts of the map that's cut out. It's just a blank on the piece of paper, and each person has to find a checkpoint at the maze, in the maze, and they stamp it. And when they complete it, they find all the checkpoints, and they completed the maze. They have a full picture of what it looks like.
We had to find these 4 stamp things, and it took a while, but we found them all. And then we had to find our way out. So.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot harder to see.
We went last year too. This one was harder.
We do a haunted house at night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's really geared for adults. It's not really a kid thing. It's pretty scary. It's gory. It's got a lot of loud noises in it that startle people. We have a lot of live actors in there, a lot of movement, jumping out. You know, the kids just don't like that. They get scared at that kind of stuff. So even a lot of the adults get scared. That's basically what it's all about. People get scared about it. They love it.
Whew, that haunted house was a little too spooky for me.
Well, Melissa, if that was too scary for you, you can jet over to the Cradle of Aviation Museum. Located in Garden City, it houses an extensive collection of antique planes, as well as the island's only IMAX theater. FYI, strapped in for takeoff with this double feature.
My name is Tom Gwynn. I'm the Vice President for External Relations at the Cradle of Aviation Museum. The museum is really made up of three components. There's the Air and Space Museum itself, the IMAX Dome Theater, the Leroy and Rose Grumman IMAX Dome Theater, Long Island's only IMAX theater, and the Red Planet Cafe. This facility is a $100 million facility, and it captures this heritage that is Long Island's heritage. This is a fantastically rich cultural environment when you look at the development of aerospace, and the museum captures that. Locating the museum here was no real accident. We have several hangars here that we are using to exhibit our aircraft in. We end with one of three real lunar modules that was designed to fly and go to the moon, but not used. And our lunar module is set up on a lunar surface, and we have a mannequin of Neil Armstrong taking a giant step for a man. The IMAX Theater, as I mentioned, it's Long Island's only IMAX theater.
Hello and welcome to the Leroy and Rose Grumman IMAX Dome Theater.
The IMAX format is a 70 millimeter film, whereas other films are 35 millimeter. It's a much larger negative. It's quite involved writing the film because, as you'll see, it goes through a number of loops back and forth, and it's reversed as it goes through the gate and comes back, and you're on two big platters. We have a lens that spreads the picture out over a dome. So you're actually, when you look up and sideways, you're actually in the movie itself.
Above us right now.
Their reaction is wow, usually. They usually say wow before they even sit down because the screen is so immense. You're surrounded in a 180-degree view, so totally around you, floor to ceiling. It's a dome theater.
Conclusion, you will be exiting through the doors located at the very top of the theater.
I would like people to walk away with a sense of pride and a sense of awareness of how much happened here.
What a great place to learn about the importance of aviation history.
But after all that learning, I need a good place to relax and be myself. Club Legally is one place where everyone can be themselves. Open to people of all sexual orientations, Club Legally offers young Long Islanders a place to kick back and relax in a bias-free environment. FYI, dance the night away at Club Legally.
Let's hear more from the Style Van.
Club Legally is a social recreational program that happens here every Friday at Legally from 9 to 1 in the morning.
It's a substance abuse prevention program. So we give young people a choice about coming here where there is no alcohol or other types of drugs.
And it's a place where kids can come who are GLBT, also straight, so we don't discriminate, and this is a safe haven for kids to come and socialize with other peers and have a place where they can enjoy themselves to be free who they want to be.
Here kids can come, learn how to socialize, have fun, meet each other, and be who they are.
And the kids look forward to it coming here on Friday nights.
I've known that I was bi for quite a long time.
I'm an open lesbian.
It's okay to be gay. I am a bisexual.
Nobody cares what I dress like or who I am here.
I am the ultimate fag hag. At school, I'm not considered, the technical popular, but here I am, and I've had some of the best friends I've ever had.
I look forward to coming here, and I look forward to seeing people that I don't see every day or I don't talk to on the phone. So it's like, oh, hey, how you been? How's life treating you?
Just, like I said, a diverse group. We don't care where you come from, what you're doing, or whatever. It's just there to have fun because we're going through enough in our home lives, school lives.
I just think the experience here lets me go out in the world and be myself, not be scared of what other people are going to think of me.
We create a mental atmosphere.
I get to be myself here. I'm not wearing a mask. I don't pretend to be anybody else, and I love it here. I met a lot of new people and a lot of great people.
I'm here almost every Friday night. I've met a lot of people here, a lot of people that I'm friends with, a lot of people that I'm more than friends with.
Being out in high school, everybody hated me and nobody else seemed to be gay. And I knew, on some level that there were other gay people at school because it was impossible for them not to be, but they were just keeping real quiet. And I was getting in a lot of trouble and I was having no fun. And everything that I did that was wrong didn't even feel good anymore. And I came to Legally with a friend of mine, and we came up in the back, and at the old building you used to be able to hang out on the back porch, and there were all these people out there, and they were having so much fun. And I was amazed, and we were walking up the back, and I turned around to her, and I said, we're home.
Everyone can be themselves, and they don't have to put up a mask and, pretend to be something that they're not.
I feel very comfortable coming here, and just being able to be yourself is the greatest thing in the world. Thank you.
What a great idea for the people at Legally to offer a safe haven for those kids. Any day, anytime. Well, that's it from all of us at FYI. We invite you to tune in next time when we take a look at more of Long Island's treasures.
But before we go, we leave you with a few trick-or-treat scenes from last week's Halloween festivities. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
This has been an HTV Entertainment presentation.